Welcome to your moment for biblical truth, a show in which we honor the name of Jesus and use the Bible to study the Bible to better understand the Bible, giving full glory to the Word of God, looking toward the Old Testament as a schoolmaster, not to be forgotten. A show in which we are taught by inspiration of the Holy Spirit of God. And now, here is your host, Brother Esquire.
Good afternoon. I am Brother Esquire, and I would like to welcome you to this edition of Your Moment for Biblical Truth. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to deviate from our normal lesson plans whereby I teach Bible things, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how I feel about the George Floyd situation. You see, I have my own thoughts as to the things that has been transpiring over the past few months. And so I would like to give my thoughts. And as you know, if anybody knows about Brother Esquire, then you know that I'm going to be saying some things that, might be controversial. But it's how I feel, and I'm entitled to my thoughts. And so with that, I want to go ahead and get into this. And by starting off, I want to say that what do I think about the cops that didn't let George Floyd breathe? Yeah, you were wrong for that, dude. If somebody tell you they can't breathe, man, you need to go ahead and let them breathe, bro. You got your handcuffs already on this, bro. You got your knee on his neck, like in between a curve or something. I mean, come on, bro. What is all that about, bro? You know what I'm saying? Then you have bystanders there, and you really don't care. You're just sitting there like you're trying to assert some type of dominance or authority over this man. Look here, bro. The man is a human being. The man got a wife. The man got kids. The man got a family. He got a mother. He got a father. Nobody wants to see their people die. You don't want to die. He didn't want to die. You need to let up on that, man. Y'all need to cut that crap out. The knee on the neck, they got to go. You see what I'm saying? Now, we talk about George Floyd death getting us into the streets and starting the protest. Let me tell you something. George Floyd's death is not the reason for the protest. The reason for the protest is the inequality and the brutality that the black folk receive at the hands of the police department. George Floyd is a rally cry. George Floyd is like saying, remember the Alamo. And then we go into battle. We scream, remember George Floyd. Say his name. And then we go and we protest. We go into battle. You see what I'm saying? George Floyd is a rally cry. But he's not the reason for the protest. And that's important because if you say that George Floyd is the reason for the protest, then there are hundreds of other kids and men and women that died at the hands of cops, with their knees on their necks and through chokeholds and through various means. And we avoid mentioning all of them just to focus on George Floyd. You see what I'm saying? It's like that Rosa Parks complex that I'd like to tell people about. You know what I'm saying? Rosa Parks went to jail for sitting on the bus and not getting up. That's true. But before that happened, there were hundreds of other people that went to jail long before that, and no one said a thing. No one got into the streets and protested. But Rosa Parks was a spark. George Floyd was a spark. And the fire need to burn. I'm not going to lie to you. The fire is a spark to a fire that long since needed to burn. And while I'm saying this about the fire that needed to burn, when it comes to the protest turning into riots, that crap needs to stop. Because you void out the point of what you're trying to say. If I'm a cop or I am a politician and you are out there rioting, I'm not paying attention to what you're saying. I'm paying attention to the people that are losing money in the streets. I'm paying attention to the businesses because you're burning down my city. You're burning down my town. You're burning down my country. What's wrong with you? Nothing is worth losing your entire country over. You should be willing to fight for your country. And with that fight, that includes the fight for equal rights. But you don't turn around and burn down your country. You see what I'm saying? You don't turn around and burn down the building, because I'm like this here. If I'm at McDonald's and you kill somebody in my parking lot, okay? Do you burn down my building in protest, and now all the workers there no longer have a job because your anger? We no longer even hear the point of what you said. All I know is that I'm out of a job, but my bills still come due. Stop the riots. That got to stop. If you don't stop the riots, you're going to lose your point. And with you trying to make your point, I have to say this. This is very important. Please hear me. With you trying to make your point, what the protests are missing is a leader. You need your Martin Luther King. You need your Malcolm X. You need somebody that can take the message that you want and become the voice of it. Somebody that can take it to the people that need to hear it. Because right now, all you're doing, you're looking like that South Park protest about the Yelpers. There were many Yelpers trying to speak at one time. And in the end, the politicians didn't figure out what none of them wanted, because they couldn't help any of them, because everybody thought that they were the ones leading and their voices were the ones being heard, when the truth is they was all speaking at once and nobody's voices was being heard. And so what the government officials gave to them is boogers and cum. And that's what you kind of getting from the government officials now. Everybody is speaking. You're speaking so much, you're speaking so fast, you don't have a leader. Nobody can hear what you say. Somebody needs to stand up. And let me tell you something. When I say stand up, I don't mean use social media as in use Twitter. You rich people that people follow. They got billions and billions of people following you on social media, and you don't want to get up. All you want to do is donate to Black Lives Matter, and then get up and tweet a video. No, what you need to do is get out in public, grab a microphone, and become the voice of the movement, so that we can really get this started, because we need somebody that they can listen to. We need our Oprah Winfrey or somebody. We need Michael Jordan to stand up and speak. You tell me they won't listen if Michael Jordan stand up and speak. Tell me they won't listen if Oprah stand up and speak. You see what I'm saying? Tell me they won't listen if somebody with some stature, with some background, with some money, with some moolah, with somebody that got some pull, somebody stand up and speak on our behalf. Even the unknown, stand up and speak, and you become the rallying point. And you take our rally cry to the people that need to hear it. Because at the moment, what you got people doing, you got the officials scrambling to figure out what you want. And with that, that's where you're going to get your boogers and cum. God forgive the slang, but that's what you're going to get. You're going to get stuff like the police telling you that we going to ban chokeholds. When you go back and look at the law, and the law tells you that chokeholds have been banned for over 40 years. So how you going to ban something that has already been banned? You selling us a wolf ticket. We're not getting no change, and nobody is paying attention. But Brother Esquire's paying attention. You see what I'm saying? You can't tell me that you're going to ban something that has already been banned. Then where's the change? You're going to ban the chokehold. First of all, the question, the maneuver in question ain't even a chokehold. It's a knee on the neck. That needs to be banned. But let me tell you something, bro. You can't put no pressure to any part of a person's body that supplies oxygen to their lungs or their brains without killing them if you're going to apply for a long amount of time. Bottom line, take it from somebody who knows martial arts on some type of level. Now, when it comes to the protests turning into riots and the officials scrambling to figure out what you want and what they're going to give you and what they're going to do about the reform and all this stuff, what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up taking money from the police department. The police department are going to start feeling more danger toward them. They're going to feel less secure from the community. You see what I'm saying? And what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of police that are going to start going on strike. And that's just plain and simple. If the protests continue to turn into riots, and you start taking money from the police department, and the police department no longer have the manpower to do the things they need to do or the things they feel they need to do, they're going to start striking. And when they strike, crime is going to rise. I'm telling you. You see, you can't have a good city, a good country without law. You can't have law being enforced without cops. So for them people that are saying we don't want the cops in our town no more, too bad. They're going to stay there. We're going to deal with them, but they're going to stay there because we're not going to let them leave and you go rob somebody, or even worse, you get robbed by somebody because you voted to move the cops out. I'm looking out for your safety. I want the cops to stay. That's Brother Esquire's opinion. I don't want you to die for making the wrong decision. That's just the way I feel. Now, we talk about excessive force versus the right amount of force. Okay, well, when it comes to excessive force versus proper force, what is the proper force? Because we know what excessive force is. Chokeholds, hitting people with a knife stick. You see what I'm saying? Putting your knee on people's necks. This is excessive force. But what I want to know is what is the proper amount of force. And this is what we need to get to. This is what we need to start showing the cops. Not what is excessive force. We need to start defining what is the proper force. Because we have so defined what is unacceptable, we don't even know what is acceptable. Because you have to face the fact that there are times when the cops go to arrest somebody and that person completely resists. How do you arrest somebody that resists? How do you get the handcuffs on somebody that exists? And you can't tell me, well, if you get his ID, you can let him go. Because the truth be told that there are a lot of people that have ID, but the address on the ID is not their current address. And then you run a risk of cops kicking in the doors and shooting people that are innocent. So how do you arrest a person that is being violent or that is resisting? That's what we need to define. Proper force. I'm tired of hearing what is wrong. Start telling me what's right. We need to start defining what's right. And we need to put that plan forward. And that's the plan we need to present to the cops as to what is the proper amount of force to arrest someone. You see what I'm saying? Now, what we need to stop doing is we need to stop trying to erase history. You people that are running around tearing down these statues, okay, I'm only iffy about the statues, okay? Certain statues might do need to come down, but they don't need to be lost and torn and broken down. We need to talk to the city officials and get them to remove the statues and, if need be, replace the statue with a different monument. But the statue itself needs to be removed and taken to a museum where it can be preserved, because history is not to be erased. History is his story of the way things went, the way things were. It is his true story. You see what I'm saying? You can't erase slavery. Because if you erase slavery, then you erase how America was built. You see what I'm saying? You can't erase slavery. It's there for you to learn. Learn from it and become better by it. Don't see it and get hatred and grow hate because of what happened in the past. Learn, see it, learn from it, and become a better person today. And raise your kids to be a better person tomorrow so that they can raise their kids to be a better leader in the future. You see what I'm saying here? You can't erase history. This is like people that read the New Testament without ever reading the Old Testament and think they know everything there is to know about God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, and Christianity and Judaism. You know nothing if you think you know anything. You need to know the Old Testament, because the Old Testament is a schoolmaster. There is nothing that wasn't. Everything that happens now has already happened in the past. So learn from it. Look into the past. See what happened and see how things progressed. That's why I say we need a leader. I saw change when that man said, we will get to the mountaintop. And I might not get there with you. Well, we got to the mountaintop. But when we get there, when we're there today, we're at that mountaintop. We're at that top where you can go to school and he sees the children eating at the same table, all races. It's there. I mean, we can talk about a lot of stuff, but let's face it. That part is there. It's here. But it's it's very cold up there at that mountaintop. What we need is some jackets. So, stop trying to erase history. Learn from it. Learn that we done seen where we came from. We done climbed our way to the mountaintop. But now we need to get us some jackets. We're learning. The closer we get to the top, it got colder and colder and colder. We shouldn't have stayed walking up there with short sleeve shirts. We should have stopped and got us some coats and continued to march up to the top of the mountain. You see what I'm saying? Don't erase history. Learn from it. That's bottom line. Now, I want to bring something to light if you haven't heard about it by now. There have been several black people being found hanging from trees. What is going on? Is this racism rearing its ugly head again? Let me tell you something, man. You do not hang people from trees. We're past that. There's not really much I can say about that other than you don't hang people from trees. That is pure racism. That is hate. That is hatred. How do you hang a person from a tree? And then the cops automatically ruled each one of them a suicide. That in itself made me suspicious. The first one, yes. The second one, maybe. But then I have to start thinking about it. Black folk, when they commit suicide, black folk are not normally known for hanging themselves outside in public places on a tree. We've kind of been raised to steer away from that type of stuff. So black folk may commit suicide, but probably not like that. Not saying they don't hang themselves. When they do, they probably do it in their house. But not outside in a tree, in a parking lot of a business in public. They don't do that. Black folk don't really even air their stuff like that in public. So, yeah, I want to bring that to your attention because that's on the rise. So far, it's been like, what, 4 or 5? One of them in Houston. Let me tell you something. That got to stop. Do not do that. Please, I'm begging you from my heart. In Jesus' name, do not start hanging black folk because y'all have to understand, a lot of these black folk, although they were out there in these protests and they were riding, don't think these black folk don't have guns. A lot of them got guns and they will start using them. So don't come at them wrong and they won't come at y'all wrong. I don't mean to say that in a threatening way or for that to sound threatening, but understand, because I don't do guns. Me personally, I don't do guns, but there are people that will shoot you, man. They'll find out that you were the one that hung somebody, and they'll come back and they'll shoot you. They'll drive by you, man. Don't do that. I just want to raise that, though. Black folk have been found hanging from trees. Now, when it comes to cops arresting criminals, you cops need to understand one thing, okay? Criminals are still people, okay? Nobody wants to die. If you get the criminal subdued, don't kill the criminal. If he's shooting back at you, then, all bets are off because, I don't know what I would do if I had a gun and the person was shooting at me. I can't say that I won't shoot back. I can't say that I won't have better aim than that person. But I can't say what I would do in that situation. So, as long as you remain a human being, remain human and understand that everybody is a person. Not everybody wants to die. Just because a person is running from you, don't mean they want to die. Come on, man. Let people live, dude. Let people live. Send them to jail. So what? Just send them to jail. But they're humans, okay? And as for you cops, y'all gotta understand something. Y'all come up on us in y'all cars and y'all get on y'all loudspeakers and y'all tell us we need to move around, and y'all come up and y'all, let me see your ID, you go stand over there, you go stand over there, 3, 4 y'all him or so. You gotta understand how black folks see that. Black folks see that as gangs. Y'all telling us we need to get off the block, y'all don't want to see us around here no more, don't do this, don't do that. That's the same stuff that gangs do. You see what I'm saying? If I'm not presenting a threat, or if I'm not committing a crime, really there's no need for you to come ask me anything, because if I'm not mistaken, according to the law, if you come to me and ask me for my ID, that's fine. But if I'm not committing no law, I don't have to present to you my ID, and you shouldn't be getting all belligerent and upset and wanting to start roughing me up because I don't want to present you with my ID. It's my legal right as a law-abiding citizen. And to that matter, if I'm not breaking the law, why are we even talking about you asking me for my ID? You should not have came and said anything to me. That's how black folks see y'all. You see what I'm saying? That's what makes us scared of y'all. Why are you even talking to me in the first place? Why are we having a conversation of me not wanting to give you my ID if I haven't broke any law in the first place? And y'all say, no, that's not true. But then we look at YouTube and we see situations where people pull over and they are lawyers and stuff, lawyers and black judges, and y'all pull them over and start asking them for their ID and stuff, and they start asking y'all what did they do wrong and this and that, and y'all can't prove to them what they did wrong, and they don't give you ID. Y'all start getting mad only to find out that the person was a judge or a lawyer. And he asked for your sergeant to come down to the scene. And sergeant come down there and ask what the problem is. And they tell you what the problem is. And then the sergeant say he ain't did nothing. And then you got to let him go and apologize. Come on, man. Black folk don't trust cops. And cops don't trust black folk. We got to do better with that. And it's not for me to make that better. But it has to get better, because the cops are supposed to protect us. You see what I'm saying? If you can't protect us, then we're going to have to protect ourselves. That's how black folk think. In fact, that's how anybody thinks. That's how Caucasians think. That's how Mexicans think. That's how Asians think. When you can't protect us, we protect ourselves. You remember the Rodney King riots? When the cops left and they didn't want to go back in, and they started burning down all the Korean shops, and you say no they didn't, but then I'd have to tell you yeah, because I saw the documentary, and on the documentary dude got on TV and said he stated passionately, and then he turned around and said, you see all these shops burning, if you notice they're Korean. Those were Korean shops. But the riots were over, y'all trying to say that the riots were over Rodney King. So was it Rodney King or was it Koreans that you were mad at? You see what I'm saying? And when the cops poured out, the Koreans didn't have no protection, so they started protecting themselves. And in that scuffle, they ended up killing one of their own who just went down there to help them protect themselves. You see what I'm saying? When the cops can't protect us, we protect ourselves. And when the cops abuse us, we defend ourselves. Come on, man. You gotta understand how cops are viewed in the eyes of black folk. We got to do better than that. We got to get over there. That's just the bottom line. Now, this is very controversial, but I'm going to say this. Black folk need to stop telling other black folk that in order to solve the problem and make a change, we need to go vote. I hate hearing that. I hate that with a passion, because voting don't solve anything. There are some laws that we vote and then next year we vote them out. So laws come and go. Laws change. We don't want that. You see what I'm saying? And when it comes to voting, let me tell you something. Your vote means nothing. Brother, that's why I'm going to break this down to you. There is a thing called the Electoral College. Now, there are delegates and there are super delegates. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the process. You vote. There are two candidates. You vote for them two candidates. If there is a tie, the delegates will come in, the super delegates will come in and break the tie. Okay? So, for your vote, if your vote holds one vote, then theirs is worth 1.5. You see what I'm saying? So, you vote, and if there's a tie between the two candidates, then the super delegates come in and they vote, and their vote breaks the tie. Now, that person elected should be the president, but then there is a thing called the Electoral College. They get to vote, and I don't know if it's 21 days or less, but then they go vote, and the person that they vote is the person that actually becomes president. You think I'm lying? Go back and check how many presidents were voted in by the people, but that president was changed because of the Electoral College, and the one that won the Electoral College, the one that won the college vote, that's the one that went on to become president. You see what I'm saying? In other words, your vote don't matter. Your vote tells us between these two people, this is the most popular one. This is the one we want. Their vote says between these two people, this is the one you will have. That's how President Trump was elected in the first place. Now, we can put that to God, but speaking in it from a carnal point of view, yeah. All the votes went toward Hillary, but when it started coming in with them delegates in the Electoral College, all that went to Trump. So that's how Trump became president. And people don't understand it. You can vote for whoever you want, but if the Electoral College vote if that vote wants Trump in there, Trump will win again, and there is nothing you can say about that. So your vote don't matter. You see what I'm saying? In that sense, your vote is just telling us of the two candidates, this is the one that is most popular. You see what I'm saying? Now, what we need to do, instead of telling people to vote, what we need to do is get together, take our rallying cry, and give it to a leader, and then march with that leader down to these places of these city halls and these places of government officials where they sit in a luxury offices, and we need to force them to give us these things. We need to take it straight to their door. We need to take it right to their door and start protesting right outside of the Capitol if we need to. Right outside the City Hall for days at a time, for weeks at a time until they come out. And this will be our demand. We're not just sitting out there protesting. We demand that you come out. Sit some chairs out on the lawn and you listen to us out here in the streets. Not in there, out here in the streets. You can respond, but you will listen. And at the end of all this, we will set a team up that will go into that building with you and that will negotiate with you the type of reform that we, the people, want you, our elected officials, to give us. That's what we need to do. Stop telling people to vote. We need to take these politicians that are already in office and make them give us what we want. We need to take it to them. We need to go ahead and Rocky Balboa this situation. They knocked us down long enough, but it's time for this little one to rise up. Now, one thing I gotta say, with all this, I don't want to not give the cops their due. Like I said, black folk, y'all need to stop fighting the cops, man. That's just the bottom line. I don't know what's in it that makes people want to fight the cops, but people, period. You got to stop fighting the cops. Maybe they're arresting you and you did nothing wrong. If you can't explain your situation through words, then that's fine. A lot of people don't have money to fight this stuff. So they know when they go down there, they're going to get lost in the system, and that's just the end of it. They're going to have that criminal record that's going to haunt them for the rest of their life, and maybe they are doing crimes and maybe they're not. But bottom line is, stop fighting the cops, man. Just stop fighting the cops, because apparently they ain't gonna stop shooting. So you need to stop fighting. I mean, I can't say that. I can't even elaborate on that. If you committed a crime, don't fight the cops. Now, what we need to do is build beating profiles on these cops. When there are people that are logged into the books and they have bruises and they're beaten and battered, we need to build a profile as to what cops were on the scene when this person that came to us beaten and battered, what cops reported to the scene. And we need to make a chart as to how many times a person comes in beaten and what cops steady pop up on that scene. Because it might be that cop that is doing all the beating. And when we do, we need to get rid of that cop immediately. There is no inquiry. We have done our inquiry. We have noticed that you are the one beating these cops. We have all these videos. We have noticed that you are the one beating these folks. We have noticed that in all the videos that we have, when it comes to these people that have been beaten and battered, you're there and you're one of them that are doing all the beating and battering. So you got to go. There is no inquiry. You're fired. That's what it needs to be. Zero tolerance when it comes to evidence of people being beaten by cops. Zero tolerance for that cop. And when it comes to cops being involved in the death of an unarmed man, that cop needs to immediately go on unpaid suspension. And then we start the investigation. But if the man comes in and he's dead, and the death was caused by a cop, and the man was seen to be unarmed, the cop that pulled the trigger needs to immediately go on suspension. No pay. If no weapon is found, that cop runs the risk of being terminated. You see what I'm saying? In other words, what I'm saying is, if you shoot a man and there's no gun found, there's no weapon, and the man was unarmed, even if there is a weapon, but the man don't have any weapons way back there, and the man is unarmed, and you kill him, you immediately start your punishment phase for that. You go on suspension with no pay. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You have lost your pay and you are on suspension. Bottom line. because we will do an investigation. And when we do an investigation, the investigation needs to be a speedy investigation. It should last no more than 2 months, no more than 60 to 62 days. That is it. It does not take that long when you have video to condemn a man of killing a man with no gun. And as for you cops that say, well, that takes away our leeway, I mean, that'll make me not want to pull my gun. That'll make me not want to be a cop because I don't want to go to jail. No, what it should make you want to do is not want to be so quick to kill a person. You should still be a cop, but the law should be there to make you not so quick to want to kill a person. Not to make you not want to be a cop. Because if a person see that law and then they say, well, I don't want to become a cop, that's because you are a killer. So I'm glad you don't want to become a cop. But there are people that need to be cops, and they see that law and they say, good, it'll make me think twice before I pull my gun to shoot a man that is unarmed. That's what we need. So for you people that say, for you cops that say, I see that and that'll take away our protections, so I don't want to be a cop no more, I ain't going to be a cop, fine. Quit the job or don't even take the job. But you ain't hurting me and the people on the streets. In fact, you're saving our lives because you are a killer. Bottom line. And what I want to do in the midst of all this, I want to end this whole thing by talking about tasers. If I'm not mistaken, there are like twice as many people dying from the cops tasing them than from the cops shooting them, and half the people that are dying from the cops shooting them are getting shot in the back. So that tells me that you're shooting people that are running away. And when you're not shooting them, you're tasing them to death. The tasers got to go. We got rid of the nightsticks. The tasers got to go. Or the tasers got to lose power. You got to take the power out of the tasers, or you got to get rid of the tasers. One or the other. But I don't want to miss the fact that there are people out there that have lost their lives. There are family members out there right now that are suffering from the cops killing their family member because they have tased them multiple times and nobody has said a thing, and their family members' voices are not being heard. Yes, tasers are killers. You cops that want to pull the taser and tase 3, 4, 5, 6 times, yeah, you're killing the person. Every time they make it to the hospital unresponsive. What is wrong with you, man? You don't need to tase a person with that much jolt. You don't need to do it. Don't put your knee on our neck. Don't put us in the chokehold. Don't beat us with the sticks. Don't tase us 5, 6 times. You see what I'm saying? We have family. Even if we're going to go to jail, at least our family know where we are. You see what I'm saying? Please. The cops got to get it right. The black folk are people. That's all we want y'all to understand. We're people. And for y'all to say that, well, it's just you adults. No, it's in the schools too. There are videos where you cops are in school grabbing black little kids and slamming them while they still sitting in their desk and flipping the desk over. Grabbing a little girl just because she walked by, just because she did this to the principal and did that, you know what I'm saying, and continued to walk out the door. So you gonna call that assault? And you gonna run up on a little girl and toss the little girl and try to break her arm and move her arm all to the back and all that stuff. And then you even got the white man standing there telling you to stop and you still talking about no? Come on, man. These are kids. Our kids ain't dying at the hands of the cops. Yes, they are. Little boy, little cop roll up on a little kid at a little at a park or something. Little kid had a little toy gun. Cop pull his gun and shoot the little kid. Kid 12 years old. Come on. We got to get this right, man. Now, I'm not going to go on and on about this because y'all know how I feel because I done said it. If you don't, go back and listen to it. We need to protest. We need to unify our voice. We need a leader. We need to get the rioters out before they steal our message. We need cop reform. We don't need them to be selling us no wolf tickets like banning stuff that has already been banned and making stuff illegal that is already illegal on the books. We need real reform. So, what else can Brother Esquire say other than say their name and remember them? Don't let them go. And when it comes to moving this cause forward, I cried the rallying cry. George Floyd. I can't breathe. I can't breathe, man. Tell my mama I love her. What's wrong with you? That should never be the last words of a man at the hands of somebody that's supposed to be protecting him. With that being said, I hope I've done my part enough. And say, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Tell somebody about this video. If you feel this video is inspiring, then give this video to somebody that you know can make a change out there. Let them see what you're trying to say, if what I'm saying is what you're trying to say, and I can say it. So, you know, don't kill the black folk. Don't hate the cops. Don't riot. God bless America. And I want to say one more thing, okay? My research led me back to 2015. That's when I saw a real rise in the situation. And with that, Trump was not president in 2015. There was another person that was president. So we can't say that Trump started this now. Do I believe Trump is not being a proper president when it comes to the situation? That's my personal opinion and whatever. But Trump didn't start it. So stop blaming Trump for it. Okay? Trump he's a cerebral. He thinks. He's a thinking man. Maybe y'all don't think he is, but he is, and he uses what he needs to his advantage to get where he needs to be. And you might be giving him the fuel that he needs to stay in there for another 4 years. Well, y'all thinking y'all about to get Trump out of there, I'm telling y'all, something is telling me it's going to mess around and backfire. So, go to your leaders and force them to make change. And stop trying to tell people to vote. Because you're going to mess around and vote in electoral college, is going to change your vote. So use what power you got now and make your change now. We need a leader. If I could be that leader, if I had that voice, yeah, trust me, Brother Esquire. Anybody that know Brother Esquire love talk about some politics. Brother Esquire love talk about him some Jesus and some God. This is what I talk about, and I can I'll take the fight right to where the fight need to be, and I'll throw the Bible up in their face. Hey, but I'm not in a position to do that. I don't have followers that follow me like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have connections that can pull me and propel me to those places. But nonetheless, if you know somebody, show them this video and tell them, stand up, man. What's wrong with you? Be the leader. Be the leader. Yeah. And with that, Brother Esquire, I would like to thank you for tuning into this edition of Your Moment for Biblical Truth. May God bless you. May Jesus bless you. Black lives matter. All lives matter. You see? So, be at peace. Shalom.